A very warm welcome to Singapore. We are at the Jalan Besar Stadium for the first leg of the semi-final of the AFC Champions League Two. Singapore's Lion City Sailors up against Australia's Sydney Football Club. All tickets were sold out a couple of days ago, certainly for the home end. One or two seats still available for the Australian supporters. I can tell you, there are quite a few who've made the journey over from Sydney via Auckland, where Sydney had a league game at the weekend, to enjoy the sunshine. So they thought of Singapore. Instead, we've got a torrential downpour, but it is warm, it is humid, 30 degrees centigrade. And this rain, if it goes away, will actually calm the atmosphere down just a little bit. It might be in the favour of Sydney, who, while they've played in tropical heat before, it is something you've got to get used to. There are the fans well set up for the rain that is coming their way. Good Australian expat community in Singapore. They'll be represented here, but as I say, there are several who've made the journey via Auckland for this match today. Good to see them. As for the home team, the Lion City Sailors, this is an opportunity for them to really stake their claim for both themselves as a club and also for Singapore football. It's been a little bit in the doldrums recently, but not for the fault of the likes of Harris Harron. The 34-year-old will be captaining Singapore today. He's got nearly 140 caps for the national team. Now he's trying to take that onto the club stage. For both of these sides, what an opportunity this is. Both have done well in AFC competition. Both are used to AFC competition, but none have made it to one of the grand finals before. This is the replacement, in inverted commas, the upgrade of the old AFC Cup, Asian Champions League Two. An Australian team, Central Coast, won this competition last year in its former form. So for Sydney, they're looking for the opportunity to take on either Al Tawan or Sharjah, who played the first leg of their semi-final earlier on today in Saudi Arabia. Al Tawan winning that one by 1-0. This is a two-legged semi-final. The return will take place in Sydney. And the place in the one-off final, which will be hosted, or is supposed to be hosted by the team who has the Eastern Conference team. First time these teams will have met. It's been a long, long journey to get here in the group stages for Lion City Sailors. They beat Zhejiang at home, lost 4-2 away. They lost spectacularly to Persib, 3-2 at home, drew 1-1 away, and beat the Bangkok side, Port, 5-2 and 3-1. Then they had a back-to-back win to go over Muangthong United. The 4-0 victory here was very, very special. 3-2 victory over there was very good as well. And then a little bit of fortune. Sanfrecce Hiroshima fielded an ineligible player, ironically a former A-League player from MacArthur FC. And so a 6-1 defeat was turned into a 3-0 advantage for Lion City Sailors, and they drew against Sanfrecce 1-1 in arguably their most composed performance of the season to make it through to this semi-final. As for Sydney, well, they lost to Sanfrecce in the group stages, home and away. They beat Kaya of Philippines 3-1 and 4-1, and beat Eastern of Hong Kong 5-0 and 4-1. Dramatic 3-2 after extra time victory in Bangkok saw them through 5-4 from the round of 16, and then their best performance of the season came against Jeonbuk Motors, a 2-0 away win, followed by a 3-2 home win, having conceded the first leg advantage at half-time. But they came through, and that in many ways represents Sydney's season. They can score a lot of goals, but they've conceded far more than they would like to. They can be got at. So that is how the teams got here. It is the semi-final stage. It is a contest we are really looking forward to on the artificial turf at Jalan Besar. It is the semi-final of the Asian Champions League Two. The hosts, Lion City Sailors, trying to defend their home advantage against Sydney United. Singapore flag is flying high. Australian representation in the Lion City Sailors squad in the form of former Socceroo Bailey Wright. Sydney FC, they include, well, as a marquee player, Douglas Costa, formerly of Juventus and Bayern Munich, and after a stop-start start to his career in Sydney, he's really come into form. And he is one of a number of players who Lion City Sailors have got to be very, very wary of. Soccer Young returns after suspension. In the heart of midfield, Rui Perez will have an important job to do. Lion City Sailors are top of their domestic league. Sydney FC, by contrast, are struggling to make the playoffs. They were widely regarded to do well in the league, but they're 7th at the moment in the league standings. They've got a big game against league leaders Auckland at the weekend, so plenty still to play for Sydney FC. Two-legged semi-final. Away goals do not count. Into the second leg there will be extra time and penalties if required. So an awful lot of work to do in this away game for Talay, the Australian-born coach. Alexander Rankovic names a stronger side as he possibly can. Soccer Young returns after a 3-match suspension. Xiao Lanra replaces the injured Maxime Lestien, but Lestien is on the bench. The Belgian is a fine goal scorer and has been missed. Nonetheless, it's a strong Lion City Sailors side. Lionel Tam does make the starting 11. Haris Harun's experience preferred to him. Match referees all from Iraq. The man in charge is Syed Tamar Mohammed. Haider Abdul Hassan, Amir Dawad and Yusuf Saeed will be the other officials. Mr. Singapore and Mr. Sydney are the respective captains. 16th season wearing the sky blue of Sydney. For the Sydney FC captain, Ryan Grant. Haris Harun, as I said, nearly 140 caps for his chosen side. The shot there of Bailey Wright. As for Sydney FC, well, there's a problem for Alex Grant. He was injured in a match at Adelaide at the weekend. He'll be replaced by Alexander Popovic, who comes into the starting 11. Otherwise, it's very much, I think, the 11 that was expected to get the nod. Douglas Costa will play as a number 10. Patrick Klimala, the former Celtic player, has got 6 goals in 8 matches in the Asian Champions League. Xiao Lanwa, for the home team, well, he is second highest scorer in the competition with 7. Huge opportunity. Financial recompense available, but of course it is national pride as much as anything else, certainly for Lion City Sailors. Singapore football perceived to be going through a little bit of a slump. Alex Rankovic and his team are doing the best to get them out of that slump. Iswan Mahmoud, the Singapore national team goalkeeper, returns to the starting lineup, having just missed out, and he'll be facing a firepower of Douglas Costa, Anthony Caceres and Joe Lolly, who's got experience. This is a man in form. 5 goals at the weekend against the Young Lions for Leonard T. So we're all set. The first of 2 legs. For Talay, the Australian coach, didn't win an international cap, but highly respected as a player during his day, and has taken over rather seamlessly to guide his team to this semi-final. First time these clubs have met in any competition. And the countdown is on. Douglas Costa gets Sydney FC underway in this AFC Champions League 2 semi-final. First leg at Jalan Besar. Rui Perez knocks it forward. T is there. The first touch for Popovic. Not the best touch. Oh, he gave Devnish Mears a little scare just there, I think, did Popovic.
Here's Ryan Grant. Has scored in the Asian Champions League this season. On to Popovic once again. Spent some time with Guangzhou, who are through to the last 8 of the Asian Champions League elite, did Popovic. Nice turn by Adosea, Brazilian. Alexander Rankovic, a cool head. As I say, his team are doing well in the league, but what a scalp this will be if they can make it on the bigger stages. It's Van Huysen trying to get there. It's Courtney Perkins. Little flick by Costa. Corey Holman, 21-year-old in the heart of midfield, that gives it away. Rui Pires is there, dispossessed by Costa. When defending Lion City. This is Joe Lolly, left footer, inverted winger. Does like to come inside. He's had some time with Nottingham Forest, bounced around the lower leagues in England, but has made a real impression as Lolly in Sydney in the A-League. Courtney Perkins. Sena, all the early possession. It's opening 2.5 minutes, gone to the visitors. You can see, I think, Lion City Sailors rather stung when they conceded 6 against Sanfrecce. Rather exposed there, making sure they don't get exposed in the early stages of this semi-final. Caceres. Young closes down the space. Charles Lamont virtually operating as a right back. Helped forward by Joel King. It's a lovely ball over the top. Klimala, the striker, got on the end of it. Van Huysen hacks it clear. Moved over to the right-hand side, Chris Van Huysen, in recent months. I think maybe to accommodate Douglas Costa. Over on the left, Courtney Perkins. Most possessional stats very much in favour of the visitors at the moment. Sena. Grant. Courtney Perkins. Sydney will score a lot of goals if they're given the space, but they'll also concede a lot, as Sena has just brought down the most foul player in the A-League, Leo Sena. Does like to hold on to possession in the central midfield, invites a lot of contact. There's a decent ball through there, was looking for Caceres. Well, both he and Costa, exactly free rolls, but given a license to roam a little bit. Costa, acceleration, does well. Ceres again. Belted clear by Tony Davkovic. Vanati wins the header, but he's rather isolated. Almost like Sydney are the home team. Second time they've played on artificial turf in this competition. It's Kaya. They played on the artificial surface. Even so, it takes some getting used to. We had a training session here yesterday. They'll be pleased that there was the rain just before kickoff. Rather slicks it up. It's Costa. Tries to find Caceres. Nothing there. This is Bar Ramsala. A rare touch for the men in white. Not seeing anything of the ball at the moment. Marlon dispossessed. Immediately won back again, though, by Sydney. Costa. Movement ahead of him by Klimala. Rui Perez. Finally packed clear by Hugo Costa. Second chance for Costa. Now a chance at last for Lion City to put their foot on the ball. Haris Harun out wide to Van Huysen. Will naturally cut in onto his left foot. It's the Portuguese Rui Perez who'll kind of play as a front sweeper in front of the back three. Little cut inside from 21-year-old Diogo Costa. Van Huysen allowed to advance, allowed to go a long way, Chris Van Huysen. That'll be a little bit of encouragement. Sena makes himself available. Good physical presence in the heart of midfield, Sena. It's been 7 minutes of their constant possession for the visitors. Harris onto Rui Perez. Given away, but there's a late challenge comes in there. A little bit of physicality on Chris Van Huysen from the muscular figure of Jordan Courtney-Perkins. Nothing more than a telling off from referee Zaid Tamar. Certainly blocked. Costa the target. Haven't really got going in any stretch of the imagination. Really right. Harris looks forward, but that's too flat. And the team won't chase that. Shaul Amar will chase most things, even he's not looking at that. Holman. Patala was saying beforehand he expects them to be disciplined, and that's exactly what Lion City Sailors have been. Ball over the top, looks for Caceres. This idea just floated in. Popovic looking for the run of Caceres, who's operating from a fairly central area. Both he and Costa trying to take that number 10 position as their own. It means there's a little bit of a lack of width. It's Costa now on the left-hand side. To play in Costa. Interesting there, though. The left foot of Joel King. He's a left back asked to play at right back is Joel King. Was good enough to make an Australian World Cup squad for the 2018 World Cup. Joel King. There's Devon Ishmael, who's keeping the notable Andrew Redmayne out of the starting 11 in goal. Aside from the state leagues at the start of this season. Sena. Sena's just beaten to it. Ramsala.
Costa under pressure. Back to Iswan. He's good with the ball at his feet. Pumps it long again. That's going to come straight back. Songo Young, Singapore international's done well. Roar of the crowd tells you that. He's got Van Huysen outside of him. Two in the middle. Shaul is there. Bennett T is the other. It's Perez. Ever present. Rui Perez in the Champions League this year. Getting to get more and more games in the domestic game as well. It's Harris. Van Huysen. Well, it was a high line being held there. Keeper confident enough to take that down. Devonish Mears. Sydney do like to try and play out from the back. Courtney Perkins. Costa spins it out wide. This is Lolly. Ceres. Lolly. Just behind his man. Songo Young will pick up the pieces. Look at the press coming in there. Referee played an advantage and then realised there was no advantage, so pulls it back. 12.5 minutes in. Hardly seen Syed Tamar Mohammed. That's always a good sign. Iraqi referee. Van Huysen looking over the top for Shaul. Shaul, as always, just plays off the shoulders of the defenders. Such a sharp player. Courtney Perkins going to have to be very alert to Shaul Anwar. Right on to Tony Dankovic. Costa likes to drive forward, Diogo Costa. That's exactly what he's done here. Nicely played. Two in the middle. Sean Ramsalar into the penalty area. Leonard T. Good turn, good block. Popovic doing a good job there. Well, that's what Lion City Sailors can do to you on the break. And T, 2 hat-tricks in his last 3 games in domestic football. Scored 5 against Young Lions in a SPL match and 3 the game before against Geylang. Ramsalar also has a hat-trick to his name. FA Cup game against Balestia Khalsa. Popovic rather barges into his man. T is there. Waits for support. Van Huysen. Song on the line. Flag stays down for Songo Young. And at last, approaching the 15-minute mark, a little bit of sustained possession. Van Huysen only finds Grant. And there's Costa. You don't want to give him the ball in space. Maybe he's lost a little bit of the zip of his top-class football days, but Costa is still a very, very useful player to have. Caceres. Scared to hold on to the ball. Costa to his right. Lolly is there.
Costa shadowed by Ramselaar. Holman. Over the top looking for Klimala. This one quickly off his line, then runs into the chunky figure of Patrick Klimala. Movement off the ball. Here's one Mabba to take the free kick. Leonard T. Well, Devonish Mears, I think, has got his knee to that. That's a good tackle on the edge of the penalty area. And I tell you what, Lion City Sailors are asking for a handball here against Devonish Mears. Well, Popovic, referee is there. This will be a good example. There's an example of Shaul Anwar getting in front of his man. Not the best from Popovic. Devonish Mears does just enough. The arm moves towards the ball, but it was all body. But a scare for Sydney, who are known to be a little bit too generous defensively. Over a goal and a half a game conceded in the A-League. How about that pinged out wide? The lesser known Costa. Ramselaar. Oh, what a strike! Third goal in this AFC Champions League Two, and none will be better than that. Wow, indeed, says Alexander Rankovic. Well, Devonish has just had a scary moment, but made a save. He has no chance here. It's a lovely sweeping ball. Costa keeps it in, finds Ramselaar just on the edge of the penalty area and sweeps a beauty in off the underside of the bar. Oh, that's a gem of a goal. What an angle this will give us. Looks even better when it comes off the underside of the bar. Third AFC Champions League goal of this campaign. Whoa. Well, we're checking the goal. Is there an offside against Diogo Costa? The answer is no, the goal is given. A nerve-wracking moment there for Rankovic and Lion City Sailor fans. But now they can fully celebrate. Oh. Super strike. No Maxime Lestien in the starting lineup, but Shaul Anwar with his 7 goals, now Ramselaar with his, and Leonard T in form as well. There are goals for Lion City Sailors. And defensive work there from Chris van Huysen. Here's Shaul, goes down quickly and effectively by Joe Lolly. Well, they've had nearly all of the ball, have Sydney. Not tested is one Mabud. Lion City Sailors score a gem of a goal with their first genuine attempt on goal. Van Huysen.
this opening 20 minutes. 65% of ball possession gone to Sydney. And the foul could be 2 actually for Leo Sena. The first wasn't from Van Huysen, the second certainly was. Sena drives forward once again. Here's Costa. Sarah's wanted a free kick that was never coming his way. Here's Joel King. Serres once again floating all over to try and have an influence. Here's once again Harris Harron just steps in to Song, to Ramsala. Well, Sydney being warned by him now as the rain starts to come down again. Jalan Besar and Diogo Costa is brought down. Little tug back by Joel King. When he raids forward, doesn't like to go inside the fullback, and King is a natural left footer. Oh, it's Costa doing the defending on Costa just there. Song picks up the pieces. Bailey Wright, former Socceroo, to Leonard T. Song, time and space for Van Huysen. Song once again, Korean-born but Singapore international Song Young. Clear by King, most convincing fashion. Ramsala down to Diogo Costa. Nearly breaks to Song on the edge of the box. Ramsala again, tried his luck again, didn't catch it quite as well, and King was much closer to him. Space for Van Huysen, 3 in the penalty area if he can get a cross in. Van Huysen goes to the far post, too much on it for Leonard T, but applause rings around Jalan Besar. Sarah is left doing the defending there. Devonish Mears decides to go long. Lolly the target. Lolly thumped in the air by Tony Datkovic. Been a couple of clean sheets for Lion City Sailors in this competition. One against Zhejiang here, 2-0. They had a clean sheet for 80 minutes, 85 minutes against Persib Bandung before losing 3-2 here. Spectacular implosion. That might break to Caceres. Instead, Ramsala looks for Leonard T. Lolly did well. Lolly, first attempt in anger. by Sydney, and it comes 25 minutes into the game from Joe Lolly. The left-footed Joel King hoists it high. Still the rain's coming down. Douglas Costa. Blocked off by Song. Popovic to Courtney Perkins. Costa. Oh, delicious ball. Courtney Perkins to the byline. Now Rui Perez is there to defend, but the pressure is still coming from Sydney. Douglas Costa. Lolly thought that he was being held there, but instead Lion City Sailors can break forward. But look at this, this is their own Costa, who fires an effort into Ryan Grant, who's adamant is Mr. Sydney that it's not hit his arm. This'll tell us. Let's hit the underside of the arm. Interesting starting position from Harrison Devonish-Mears. He really is a goalkeeper who is aggressive in his starting positions, and you can fully understand why Costa had a go for goal there. Costa and Ramselaar over the ball. Ramselaar not too far away from where he scored. Costa helps it in. Cleared by Grant. Song will pick it up on the edge of the penalty area, or let it run out for a throw-in. Good defending by Ryan Grant. Harris Harron. Lion City Sailors 1, Sydney FC 0. Time and space for Van Huysen. Helps it in, right-footed, it's over everybody. Lennon is saying, just dink it into the near post. Anything in the air, they've got Popovic and Grant, who are decent in the air. No Alex Grant, who's an injured absentee, having injured himself in a league game in Adelaide at the weekend. Lolly. Courtney Perkins. Joe Lolly, he's shifted to this right-hand side, to this left-hand side. Costa with plenty of movement. Wants the ball in these dangerous areas. Can't get the better. Bailey Wright, and then Ramselaar runs into problems, then wins it back. A mistake from Joel King. Here's Leonard T. Rui Perez. Portuguese has done well. Ramselaar looks for Leonard T. Terrific challenge, had to be. Popovic saw the danger, came over, made a sliding challenge. Old-fashioned defender, aggressive Popovic. There's Leo Sena. He missed a chunk of time in the sport, Leo Sena, with a heart issue that prevented him from playing. Thankfully fully recovered. And he is the heart of what Sydney have been trying to do. Lovely ball in.
Caceres again just tries to play the ball into Lolly. Wide Lolly into the box. Oh, what a challenge, Harris Aaron. Caceres thought that was going to come on to him, and Harris saw the danger, slid in and got an all-important challenge in there. It's a good pullback by Lolly. Caceres is coming through, and that's so important from Harris Aaron. Up at the other end, an equally good sliding challenge from Alex Popovic. Normally on the artificial surface you'd be scared to go sliding in like this, but it's a little bit greasy because of the rain that is still coming down. Not clearly available on the screen. Sena out wide to Costa. The Brazilian again arrows a ball in. Harris finds Shaolanwa. 5 Singapore internationals in this starting lineup for Lion City Sailors. It's the Dutchman Bart Ramslaar who has them in the lead. There's Portugal's Rui Costa. Rui Perez. Back to Australia's Bailey Wright. On to one of those Singapore internationals. Here's one Mabud. Hoists it long, but only finds Ryan Grant. Popovic. Jordan Courtney Perkins, still only 22. Caceres. Costa and Caceres. Joel King always wanted onto his left foot. Corey Holman, King again. Costa. Eased off the ball by Harris. Asking Leonard T to run into space. Ryan Grant is there, and T has got the pace to hold on to the ball. Has he got a throw in? The answer is yes. A terrific centre-forward play by Leonard T. Nothing really on, so has to chase into the corner, hold the ball up and get something. That's exactly what he's done for Lion City Sailors. Happy to sit back and then try and hit on the break. Don't want to be caught. Popovic want to be in a good position going to Sydney next week. King's header. Perez is there. Harris Aaron. Van Huysen seeing loads of space down this right-hand side. Not the best cross. Costa wanted a foul, doesn't get it. Harris looks for Van Huysen. Van Huysen just can't quite control it, but was offside anyway. But this right-hand side and this particular player, Chris Van Huysen, they are causing real problems. That's well offside. But he is getting a lot of space. Courtney Perkins reluctant to come out and pick him up. And in front of him, neither Caceres nor Costa are willing to do that defensive work. Sena. Lolly. Corey Holman. Young midfielder, knows the job he's got to do. Great turn by Lolly. Still Lolly, righted superbly. Courtney Perkins pulls to the back post. Oh, that's caught his man. Ouch, there's a serious injury there. Referee hasn't stopped play, but there is definitely a man down in the penalty area. Brilliant, brave header coming in from Diogo Costa. And in making that defensive clearance, it was a brilliant header from him. Over on the far side is it Popovic. Courtney Perkins, delicious cross. And good use of the neck muscles as he clears away. Slivala, actually, who feels absolutely nothing. Well, they're happy to sit deep, they're happy to absorb pressure, to appropriately soak it up. There's the man whose goal separates us, Bahram Salah. And some goal. We'll have a look at it here. Made even more special by the way it comes off the underside of the bar and bounces up into the roof of the net. That's one that can be replayed many a time, and nobody will get upset with seeing it. All hands on deck. It is indeed a goal. In the meantime, it's only 1-0. It's 2 legs. Home leg still to come. It's not the end of the world. Confirmed that there is VAR in operation today, but the VAR men are hidden away on the opposite side of the main grandstand. Just around about the centre line. Happily, Diogo Costa is well. Charlamont makes it back there. Attempted finish is a lovely finish from Leonard T. Charles makes the back for Courtney Perkins. Not the kind of landing you want to make on this artificial surface. Yes, it is cushioned. Even so, it is firm underneath. Caceres, Song Guillaume, his usual aggressive self. Caceres didn't like the attention. Courtney Perkins finds Anthony Caceres again. Van Huizen does well. Song, Caceres thought about just laying a piece on him, decided against it. There's Ramsala, turns away from King, comes out to Van Huizen down this right-hand side, and again space for Chris Van Huizen to run into. That time he's closed down. Joe Lolly doing the defensive work. Ramsala. To Iswan. Nearly 40 minutes into the game. That's a serious save for Iswan Mabba to make, and that's a lovely ball to Diogo Costa. He picked him out. There are 3 white shirts in the penalty area. Leonard T tries to knock it back inside. Might break to Shaul Anwar. Van Huizen. Song to Shaul. Song once again. That's come off a Sydney head, but will run through to goalkeeper Devenish Mears. Terrific pass out of defence by Iswan Mahmoud. Diogo puts it high and Leonard tries to knock it back inside to Ramsala. And it just won't drop for Shaul Anwar. Well, they've threatened enough on the break, have Lion City Sailors. In fact, they've had more shots, 4-2. Despite having only had 35% of the ball. Perez onto Diogo, onto Leonard T. Leonard slows down. coaches over there complaining that it's been too easy for the ball to be played into the front players of Lion City Sailors. Made an AFC Cup semi-final back in 2004, 19 years ago, and it's former guys also made the ASEAN Zone final of that same competition. And to get into the AFC Champions League Two with the quality of the teams that are coming in, it's really special for Lion City Sailors. And Van Huysen shows you exactly what it means as he gets it thrown off Courtney Perkins. And the graphic there just confirming those possessional stats. 2/3 of the ball to Sydney, but only 2 shots, neither on target so far. Van Huysen doing a terrific job at right fullback. Popovic. Sena. Lovely ball round the corner from Caceres. Costa just couldn't get there with the vision and the run. So nearly comes off. Highly regarded in A-League circles for that kind of vision. Just skids away. Benati gets there ahead of Popovic. Courtney Perkins doing the job on Xiao Lanhua, who'd come in narrow. Sena. Costa stays onside, one-on-one against Van Huysen. No, he's offside. He was looking along the line when that ball was played out. It's a good call. Good straight line defensively, not only from the back three but from the 2 wing backs as well. You saw Diogo Costa over on the far side applauding Chris Van Huysen. Ryan Grant's header. Diogo Costa. Thrilling run from Costa, and Costa's got to the byline. Still Costa. King, well, he's had a torrid time. Costa so often likes to come inside. That time he took him on the outside. And King, being a natural left footer, couldn't get the automatic challenge in. They've escaped with another one. Lolly's onside. Courtney Perkins. 3 sky blue shirts in the penalty area. Costa. Caceres. Still Caceres. Clipped on the edge of the penalty area by Rui Perez. Free kick in a very dangerous position if you're a Lion City Sailor. Caceres doing really well. Costa and Caceres, that link up. Lion City Sailors have so far been disciplined. Just hangs the left leg out, Rui Perez. There might not be a lot of contact, but, well, there is contact on the left ankle of Anthony Caceres. Well, the left foot of Costa will obviously be the favourite. Van Huysen, the draft excluder. 5 big men in the wall, make it 6. Costa goes early and over the top.
Anyway, here's one. Look to have that well covered. Douglas Costa. Seen lots of the ball. That's his first effort on goal. The Lion City Sailors, I think, can be happy with their defensive work. They can be ecstatic with the one-goal lead. And the crowd are doing their bit as well. They've been boisterous ever since kick-off. Ryan Grant asks Mears to come out, just hacks that high, not very convincingly, into the stand on the opposite side. Harrison Devonish Mears, second ball on the pitch, quickly knocked off play. Here's one. King is there. Whistle goes. Lion City Sailors have themselves a 1-0 lead at half-time, courtesy a gem of a strike from Brock Ramselaar. He scored a hat-trick a couple of weeks ago in a league game. None of the goals would be better than that. Otherwise, it's been defensive discipline from the Singaporean team. A scare for Devonish Mears when he might have handled outside of his penalty area. Replay suggested not. Diogo Costa down one side has been the better Costa out on display here. Lion City Sailors, despite having less of the ball, have the only goal and deserve this lead at half-time. Asian Champions League 2, semi-final first leg. Lion City 1, Sydney FC 0. very warm welcome back to Jalan Besar in Singapore. Second half about to get underway in this AFC Champions League Two semi-final first leg. Singapore's Lion City Sailors currently top of their table, leading courtesy a stellar goal from Bart Ramselaar. Terrific strike from the edge of the penalty area. It looks even better because it came off the underside of the bar. The response from the visitors is a substitution. Adrian Segatic comes on. 14 goals in 28 games in all competitions this season. And a real breakthrough season. Most of his goals have come as coming off the bench, kind of as a pinch hitter. Well, Ramselaar, meantime, still reveling in that. The celebration was impressive as well. And it gives Lion City Sailors, despite them having much less of the ball, that 1-0 advantage. For Sydney, it's a very bold move because Segatic comes on for central midfielder Corey Holman. So it's an attacking move. It means all 5 of their star attacking players, Lolly, Costa, Caceres, Kleiman and now Segacic are all on the field at the same time. That's in response, I think, to the defensive-minded attitude that Lion City Sailors have shown in the first half, despite having that lead. Second half is underway. Lion City Sailors in the all-white. Going from right to left, defending a 1-0 lead. Immediately a long ball there by Iswan Mabed. Bailey Wright had gone up to try and compete for that. That was a surprising start to the second half. Wright barely came out of his own half in the first half. Within 10 seconds, he's leading the line. There's Tony Dakovic. Wants the foul, gets the foul. Give you the lineups as they are. Lion City Sailors, Iswan Mabed in goal. A back three, Harris Harron, Bailey Wright, Tony Dakovic. Midfield 4, Chris Van Huysen, Song Yong, Rui Perez and Diogo Costa. Up front, Shao Lamois, Leonard T. And the goal scorer, Bart Ramselaar. Ryan Grant with the clearance. I suspect a change of formation, more like a 4-1-4-1 for Sydney FC. Got Devonish Mears in goal. King, Ryan Grant, Popovic, Courtney Perkins along the back. I'll break off because Costa is trying to get through around the outside. Costa's done wonderfully. Shao Lamois! Song Guiyang! Bounces awkwardly for the Singapore international song. 5 goals he's got in this Asian Champions League campaign. Costa again doing wonderfully well. That's been a real source of joy for Lion City Sailors, the space that Costa and Van Huysen on the other side have found. Right then. King, Grant, Popovic, Courtney Perkins along the back. Leo Sena, the sole midfielder. We'll have Segacic, Costa, Lolly and Caceres in support of Patrick Klimala. Second leg in Sydney next week as Rui Perez is a little bit too tight on Costa. Two-thirds of the ball in the first half for Sydney FC. No shots on target. Here's Caceres. Seeing plenty of the ball. On to King. Lolly. Too far ahead of Caceres. Here's Ramselaar. Just caught by Joel King.
former Aussie Young Player of the Year 3 seasons ago. Hasn't really kicked on since then. According to most experts, he would have expected to be in the national team on a regular basis. In the meantime, here's Harris Harron, who's been in the Singapore national team since he was 16. That's about 17 and a half years ago. Douglas Costa tries to go through Bailey Wright, no opportunity. Grant is there under pressure from Leonard T. T is the only one working really hard on his own up front, Leonard T. Ram Salah and Charles Lamois very selective in when they join him. Caceres. Dakovic finds Costa. He looks wide for Ram Salah. This is one of those occasions when they are breaking forward. Ryan Grant over there. Cuts inside King. Ram Salah and Charles Lamois. Oh, if he'd have just delayed his run rather than attacking the 6-yard box before the cross came in, that could have been really dangerous. Look at him over on the far side. He doesn't check out, he stays in position and is on the move going forward, Charles Lamois. If he'd just been patient, that could have come to him. Sydney off the back of an excellent win in Auckland. In Adelaide. They've got Auckland, who are table toppers when they go back before the second leg at home against Lion City. Costa does well. Segasic out wide. Oh, he was looking for the run of Courtney Perkins. Segasic again. Costa. Closed down by Rui Perez. Courtney Perkins has got Segasic out wide. Klimala in the penalty area. No cross comes in. Plenty of white shirts looking after Patrick Klimala. Sena, Segasic. Segasic looks for Klimala, and it goes across everybody, including Joe Lolly. But a bright opening from Adrian Segasic. Whips in the cross. Spent the year on loan in the Dutch league in Dordrecht last season. Segasic. Costa again. Popovic. Douglas Costa whips it in. It's over everybody. Harris just trapping Klimala, and Klimala is saying to Segasic, you've got to come in behind me, because Costa's not going to go on the outside. That's always curling in towards the goalkeeper, and there was nobody other than Klimala in the penalty area. That looks a lot more dangerous than it actually is, with only one man in the penalty area attacking for Sydney. Here's Harris Harron, closed down by Segasic, who kept the ball in play. That's been a bright opening 7 minutes for the man who came on as sub. Leonard T. T, if he can cross it! Oh, Leonard T! At the near post! That is a gem of a goal! Mears no chance with the power of that shot from Leonard T. Costa plays the ball in, T gets away from Popovic, and then how about that for a finish? Into the roof of the net. 5 against Young Lions at the weekend, and now a gem here for his 3rd Champions League goal. And Lion City Sailors are in dreamland. Lovely first touch.
A rasping second touch. Two spectacular strikes for Lion City Sailors. No, Maxime Lesnier, no problem. Now Sydney have really got to worry about things, but a reminder, against Johnbuck they were 2-0 down and came back to win 3-2 in their home game. Having won the away game, it must be said, 2-0. What a sensational strike from Team. Well, they had something to defend before, now they've really got something to defend. Costa lets that one run to Iswan Mabud. Lolly keeps Mabud honest. Well, Alex Rankovic, it's almost rope-a-dope stuff, isn't it? Sit back, absorb the pressure, and rely on your very efficient strike force to look after the goals, and that's what he's got. Courtney Perkins is there, looking for Segasic, who made a bright start. Well, he's complaining he wasn't to his feet. In the centre, Patrick Klimala, the number 9, gave daggers to Courtney Perkins. You can see Klimala there. He's looking like there's a lot of pent-up anger in there for Patrick Klimala. Iswan says, forget about playing from the back here, we're going for percentages. 80 yards up the pitch, and Grant is all over the black of Lennon T. And Grant's having a tough time of it out there, Mr. Sydney. Close to 400 appearances, but it's still a foul. Costa and Song over this. Plenty forward, it's just taken a flick away. That's an important header from Popovic. Songy Young looking for Harris Harron. They have got a fair amount of physical presence in the penalty area. T's good in the air. Dakovic has scored goals in League and AFC Champions League. Right to the target, it'll come all the way back to Ramsalar. Ramsalar tries a mazy dribble. A little bit too much on that from Bart Ramsalar. Well, Leo Sena, like many of the Sydney players, there's a look of frustration, almost anger. King's long throw. A little bit too physical there from Dakovic. Again, I must point out, referee has been virtually invisible, Zaid Tamar Mohammed. And I know there's a long way to go, but that's a good sign for the referee. Sena. Costa ahead of him, but also two rows of white shirts, one numbering 5, one numbering 4. Grant. Leo Sena having to start from deep. Costa. Nothing really on. And Iswan will pick up that cross from the right foot of Joel King very comfortably.
This one has to be careful. Harris Harron's nursing an injury at the moment. He's back up on his feet, just to the top of your screen, but limping a little bit. Sydney FC come forward. Joe Lolly. They do have goals in them, Sydney. As we've seen, so the Lion City Sailors. Costa denied by a thumping challenge from Lolly. Changes for Lion City Sailors, and a welcome back after injury, an elbow injury for Maxime Lestien. Charles Lambois to be replaced by Lestien. Strapping on that elbow injury, which has kept him out of the last 4 games. But he's been training all week, ready to come off the suspension. Charles Lambois has worked hard, but he makes way for Maxime Lestien. The roar is because Lestien has 12 goals in the league and 4 in the Champions League. He's a real goal-scoring threat. Segasic slows down very rapidly by Tony Dakovic. Lion City Sailors on the hour, leading Sydney FC by 2-0. Incidentally, the winners of this tie will theoretically have home advantage should they make the final. It's the Eastern Conference who will have the rights. Harris a little bit late. The flag is up for offside anyway. Harris goes down. I was just saying, the winner of the eastern side of this draw will have home advantage, and that means the final will be played either here, artificial surface, which has been approved for AFC matches so far. The National Stadium in Singapore would be a potential venue if Lion City Sailors make it. There's a little matter of a Lady Gaga concert near the dates of the supposed final on May the 18th. It's premature, though, to talk of final dates and final preparations. We are only 1 hour through a 2-legged semi-final. And the one thing Sydney FC can do is score goals. Caceres. Courtney Perkins. Again, disciplined from Lion City. Lestien's first involvement is as an auxiliary right back, helping Chris Van Huysen. Courtney Perkins. Long-range effort coming in from Caceres. For Lion City Sailors, they've got 2 left-footers operating on the right side. Van Huysen and Lestien. Both can use their right foot, of course, but predominantly left-footed. Similarly, Joel King, the left-footer operating on the right-hand side, as is Joe Lolly. More inverted. Segasic dribbles his way into the penalty area. First corner. Song is across, covering for Harris Harron. He's had a real impact. Adrian Segic. Recently made it to the Australian under-23 selection. Costa has 5 in and around the penalty area. Segasic on the goal line. Song is pleading his innocence. Difficult to do. He's had a couple of straight red cards this season, Song Young. Douglas Costa patiently awaits. Grant penalised for coming a little bit too physically onto the back of Song Young. It's Bailey Wright, 2 former Socceroos marking each other. both with bags of experience. At the moment, Bailey Wright is the happier of the two. His team lead by 2-0. T gets in ahead of King. Ramsala ties up 3 sky blue shirts. Joe Lolly eventually finds Popovic. Kevin Ishmeers wants to get involved. Popovic brings it out. Caceres dropping deeper and deeper to try and influence the game. Courtney Perkins down the line is Segasic once again. Harris reads the run, makes the tackle. Again, plenty of white shirts back behind the ball. A 5-4-1 when defending. Here's Costa. Rui Perez penalised. Douglas Costa hasn't found it at all easy. There's been no space for him. I think he does catch him. He's not far from the ball, but far enough to concede the free kick. Well, there's an overload on the right-hand side of the Lion City Sailors defence. Leonard T plugs that gap now. Costa and Caceres, as usual, over the ball. Douglas Costa. Only finds the head of Bailey Wright, who wants his side to push out. Lolly. Across the far post, there's no danger, but that's a dreadful clearance. Breaks the Segasic! Oh, there was no communication at the back there for Lion City Sailors, and it nearly cost them dear. There's no danger from this, but it just headed into danger by Chris Van Huysen, and Segasic is denied by Bailey Wright. Have a look at Wright, throws himself at the ball, and then celebrates the deflection over the bar as if it's a goal. T's headed clear. King. He's on plenty of time. And looks for the quick release. Lestien is the target, doesn't quite get there. Midway through this second half, Lion City Sailors of Singapore 2, Sydney FC of Australia 0. Douglas Costa. Segasic! Wide. 2 big chances for Adrian Segasic. Lion City Sailors living dangerously. It's lovely football. Costa sees Klimala, cushions it back to Segasic, and that's a clear chance for Adrian Segasic. But a story is brewing here. The little red dot of Singapore, not used to a lot of footballing success. This will make headlines. Ramsala will certainly make the top goal section on the AFC website. There's Klimala. Fine challenge comes in once again. That time from Chris Van Huysen, and he's up again to make a second challenge, Van Huysen. He won a talent contest about a decade ago, Van Huysen, to get himself into the professional game. And ever since then, he's been a fine representative for various clubs and country. Costa, Caceres, Lolly. That's come off Joe Lolly. That will be a goal kick.
The left footer operating on the right-hand side. If it's a right footer, he can take that in his stride, but when you look at this, it would have been offside anyway. VAR would have reviewed that. But he takes it on his left foot rather than his right. Former Nottingham Forest man. Oh, Ramselaar, you just saw there, hamstring is a little bit tight. Lion City Sailors must look not only to this game, but to the return match, and maybe try to protect their goal scorers. Popovic pops it wide. Courtney Perkins, closed down by Maxime Lestien. Segasic again. Courtney Perkins outside of him. Costa. Caceres. Lolly. Long way out, Joe Lolly. Comfortable for Iswan. Lolly spent time with Nottingham Forest, Kidderminster, Harriers, Huddersfield and Scunthorpe in the UK. Scored a beauty against Kaya in a 4-1 win in the group stage. What Sydney FC would give for a Lolly goal now. Would be worth a lot of Lolly as they come out wide to Courtney Perkins. Ceres. Lion City Sailors leading courtesy 2 stunning goals. Mark Ramselaar in the first half, Leonard T in this second half. King finds Costa. Costa just can't find any space in Singapore. Lolly attacks Dakovic and is blocked off for a free kick against Diogo Costa. Dakovic goes down. Lolly goes down in the penalty area. There was a little bit of physical contact as well. I think Patrick Limala was involved just in something off the ball, but that's a clear barge. Limala still nursing a little bit of a knock. He went down off the ball on the edge of the penalty area. 2-man ball, Douglas Costa. Does he try a strike from here? We always check your penalty. Costa indeed goes for goal. And Iswan comfortably picks up. The only problem for that shot for Iswan was the lack of pace on it. As it trundled sedately towards him, there was a danger that somebody might get across the front of him. Clear push in the back there by Popovic. Lion City Sailors home form in this Asian Champions League 2. They beat Zhejiang 2-0. They were 2-0 against Persib going into the 85th minute and lost 3-2. They beat Port 5-2, beat Muangthong 4-0, and 1-1 against Sanfrecce. So defensively, take away that crazy 5 minutes against Persib Bandung. They have been very, very tight. Change coming off on Ramselaar, scorer of the first goal. We saw him indicate that he has a slight hamstring pull. Singapore international Hami Sahin comes in to replace him. Free kick is taken harmlessly through to Devonish Mears. Lolly drives forward. Caceres. King.
Segasic slides 2 players. Segasic into a wall. Foul by Grant, who's not agreed with a lot of decisions that referee has made against him. And here is the change. Anas Wahim, attacking midfield player, is going to come on for Patrick Klimala. Wahim scored 5 goals in this Asian Champions League campaign, but that includes a hat-trick against Eastham in the group stages. Now maybe Joe Lolly will go through the middle. Wahim will play as a number 10, and Segasic and Costa operate from wide. That might be the personnel and tactical change for a team trailing 2-0. Song loses out to Leo Sena. Courtney Perkins made a great run down that left-hand side. Courtney Perkins only finds Harris Haram. Not the best cross. Attendance of 4,214. Sold out the Lion City side of the stadium. Faktale is not happy. They've had good wins on the road. They won in Bangkok after extra time to go through. They won in Jombuk brilliantly, 2-0. They won in Hong Kong against Easton. They won in the Philippines against Kaya. So it's 4 wins out of 5. Only Sanfrecce Hiroshima gave them a torrid time on the road in the Asian Champions League. And now Lion City Sailors are. Mercedes does well. Far too much on that for Joe Lolly. Long ball through the middle, looks for Lolly. Right did just enough. Wahim does well. Segasic. Douglas Costa. Segasic once again. Courtney Perkins. Wahim. Courtney Perkins. Lolly goes to the near post, still Courtney Perkins. Segasic again. So many white shirts in there. Referee then gets in the way. Caceres. And it's so narrow from Sydney. Douglas Costa. Costa harmlessly wide, but for a corner kick. Lovely play. Oh, Leonard T. So nearly gets a nutmeg on Popovic. Sarah's having to do defensive work now. Lion City will want to keep this down that end of the pitch for a little while. It's not quite take it to the corner flag time, but it's certainly hold on to the ball for a little while if you can. T does well, and T, well, why not? The shots that have gone in so far tonight for Leonard T and for, well, Ramsalat, you may as well try your luck. I'd fill in a lottery ticket as well. Lolly, Segasic runs into Van Huysen, but the flag is up for offside anyway. You heard that. Segasic disagrees. Possessional stats still, 2/3 of the ball have gone to Sydney. It's 10 shots to 8, and Sydney have only had 1 shot on target. Lion City Sailors have played this one pretty well so far. Still plenty of time to go, and they'll remember the Percy Bandung game here. Ami Shahin does well. Leonard T through on goal. Leonard T! Big save. Devonish Mears made a huge save against Jombuk in the second leg that kept Sydney in that quarter-final. Has he made a save here that's kept them in this semi-final? Iswan goes long, too long on that occasion. Well, Harrison Devonish Mears, this is a great save. Ryan Grant is bamboozled by Leonard T. Popovic can't get the challenge in, and it's the left knee. Again, he's very aggressive with his starting position, is Devonish. Stands big near the penalty spot and just deflects. It's the shin rather than the knee. The two Costas come together. And it's Diogo Costa who doesn't get the decision. It's Douglas who does. Costa. Wahim went wide. Leosena. It's all very tight, but look how many white shirts are back and how disciplined Lion City Sailors have been. They learned so much from that mauling against Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Very little space for Sydney to play in, and they've got good playmakers, Sydney. Costa. Perkins at the far post. Now, despite all the playmakers, they have been very narrow, Sydney. Certainly going forward. Whereas going forward, Rankovic has used the width of Van Huysen and Diogo Costa. Certainly kept Ramsalat when he was on the pitch. Now Lestiem as wide as he can. Courtney Perkins, Wahim, Moroccan under-21 international Wahim. Courtney Perkins onto Uruguay-born Caceres. Wahim again. There just is no space. No foul. Hami looked like he put a foot in, but no contact. Referee was right there. Ryan Grant trying to make the extra man. And then the cross when it does come in.
is not the best. Brazilian Leo Sena seeing plenty of the ball. Pass accuracy of nearly 90%, nearly 500 passes from Sydney FC. But it's not produced an awful lot. Here's one, Mabud. Is it a boot problem? As we watch Islam get a boot taped up, let's have both goals. How about this one? This is going to get highlight after highlight from Bar Ramsalam. Underside of the bar, then bounces up into the top of the net. It's a peach of a goal. But it was only slightly better than the one early in the second half, when Diogo Costa played the ball into Leonard T. And Leonard T exploded a shot into the top of the net for 2-0. And if Lion City Sailors can hold on for, what, 5 minutes plus another 5? They'll be confident of being able to hold on. AFC Live app, download it now. Enjoy the finale to the season. AFC Champions League, league games coming up from Saudi Arabia, from Jeddah, at the end of April. Semi-finals, second leg, taking place in the United Arab Emirates, where Sharjah trail Tawan by a goal to 0 after the first leg in Saudi Arabia earlier today. Substitution is made. Leo Sena is off, and his replacement is Thiago Quintal, who's come up through the ranks. Another highly rated player. He's only 18. Lovely left foot, Quintal. Not there. Wahim's done well. Plenty of blue shirts in the penalty area, and Iswan does just enough to get ahead of Joe Lolly. That will be a corner, and a warning for Lion City Sailors. This game is not over yet. Persib Bandung should, the lessons of Persib have got to be taken. Iswan does well. Third corner kick of the match for Sydney FC. Costa puts it on to Iswan. And then an unusual clearance from Hamid Shahin. And he's strong enough to hold off the man who's just come on, Quintal. Quintal again, only for Costa to take it over. Costa shapes to shoot. Wahim. So many blue shirts in the penalty area. Leonard T. Well, that's the Lion City Sailors centre forward, playing at left back. Everybody back deep now for Lion City Sailors. Is it too defensive? Is it too deep? A goal for Sydney changes the whole complexion of this semi-final. Costa. Thiago Quintal. Pressurised by Song Guiyong. Ryan Grant onto Caceres. 7 blue shirts up and around the penalty area. Grant and Caceres. No space. That's Leonard T again. Douglas Costa under pressure from Bailey Wright. Still Costa, then loses out to Hamid. And that will go through to Iswan Mahmoud. Change for Lion City Sailors. Song Guiyong to come off. And this is young Obran Klajic, who had a great start to the season. Klajic. He'll operate down this left-hand side, I suspect. Hami to go into that central role held by Songa Young. Lestien. Keeps hold of possession. Final minute of regulation time. Sydney still chasing. 4 trying to press. Costa is there. Couldn't keep the ball in play. Diogo Costa. Again, kudos to the referee. I think he's had a game where he's been unseen. Not quite sure Ryan Grant will agree with me. Lovely ball. This is Lolly. Flag stayed down. Lolly squares it. Segasic miss-hits. And the flag goes up belatedly for offside anyway against Joe Lolly. 4 minutes to add on. Yeah, Lolly offside. Segasic, if this falls onto his left foot, you expect him to hit the target at least. Fell onto his right, standing foot only. Leonard T flicks it on. Segasic again. Quintal's burst towards the penalty area. Costa also there. Here is Quintal. He and Segasic want the same space. Caceres. Quintal. Courtney Perkins. Rui Perez belted clear. Joel King. Again Quintal, but he and Segasic haven't played enough games together. Just back from helping the young Socceroos win the AFC Under-20 Cup, Thiago Quintal. And I think his current club coach, Factele, would like him to try to create a goal to quiet down this noisy, boisterous home crowd. Two stunning strikes. Ramselaar in the first half. Leonard T in the second. But still, Sydney chase the all-important goal that'll give them a chance in the second leg. Iswan teases Joe Lolly. Being secure when he's needed to be, Iswan. Hoist this high up into the Singapore sky. The rain has stopped as Costa tries to play in Segasic. Harris Harron put a forehead in the way. Midway through the time added on. Long-range effort is ambitious to say the least. Wahim. Born in Germany, but Moroccan under-21 international. Wahim. Never on balance. And again, just look how many white shirts surrounding him. This is as big a win as any in the history of Lion City Sailors. The opportunity it gives them going into the second leg to make it all the way to the final of the AFC Champions League Two. For Singapore football, for club owner Forrest Lee, it is a red letter day. And you know what? They've deserved it. For all of the possession, Sydney haven't truly hurt them. Going to be a yellow card here for delaying the game. Maxime Lestien. But he'll take the yellow card. See, he's still kind of favouring that left arm, which was injured in the
Semi-final here against Sanfrecce. Final whistle goes. A remarkable scoreline for Singaporean football. Lion City Sailors taking a 2-goal lead into the second leg against Sydney. Two fabulous strikes, one by Bart Ramselaar in the first half, the second by Leonard T early in the second. The shirts are off. There's a tough task for Sydney. There's a handshake and a smile from Alexander Rankovic. Leonard T with the second goal. He scored 5 at the weekend at this venue. He's battered in another one here. On the bench, Bart Ramselaar still stretches that hamstring. It's a thumbs up from him. They've now got a week to prepare for the second leg, which for Singaporean football will be the biggest game that they have had in their history. It's a red letter day and a famous victory for Lion City Sailors. They've won this one by 2-0.